He was one of the few alto players to resist the style and tone of Charlie Parker. What he failed to resist was the lure of drugs, ubiquitous at that time among jazz musicians. And although some users managed to get through and over their addictions, Art, survivor of a rocky childhood, unbalanced from the get-go, never did quite triumph over his, though he may have fought them to a draw. The story of Art Pepper will break your heart and piss you off. It's the story of the man who was described as the greatest alto saxophonist of the post-Charlie Parker generation. At the same time, a willfully self-destructive heroin addict who, time after time, chose heroin over his art. That Art Pepper had a musical career at all should probably be considered something of a miracle. Arthur Edward Pepper Jr. was born September 1st, 1925, in Gardena, California. His mother was a 14-year-old runaway. His father, a merchant seaman. Both were violent alcoholics, and when Pepper was still quite young, he was sent to live with his paternal grandmother. Growing up, he expressed an interest in music and started taking clarinet lessons at age 9 and switched to alto saxophone at age 13. Largely self-taught through intensive listening, Pepper began jamming and sitting in on Central Avenue, Los Angeles' home of black jazz and the West Coast's answer to New York's 52nd Street. In 1941, the Ritz Club and the Club Alabama were the places to be as the blooming altoist jammed and sometimes earned money playing with the likes of trumpeters Louis Armstrong and Roy Eldridge, and tenor saxophonists Dexter Gordon. Gordon introduced the upstart to drummer Lee Young, brother of tenor legend Lester Young. The drummer served as a mentor and eventually introduced Pepper to Benny Carter, the legendary saxophonist and band leader. At the age of 17, he began playing professionally with Benny Carter, but with a southern tour pending, Carter decided not to take the promising white musician south with his all-black band. Instead, Carter arranged for Pepper to perform with the popular Stan Kenton Band, for whom Art began playing lead alto. He toured with that band until he was drafted in 1943. After his discharge, Pepper struggled getting jobs and began drinking heavily and using heroin. He worked as a freelance musician in Los Angeles and became absorbed in the new style music, bebop. He began to play once again with Stan Kenton's band, and by the 1950s, Pepper was recognized as one of the leading alto saxophonists in jazz, finishing second only to Charlie Parker as Best Alto Saxophonist in the Downbeat magazine Reader's Poll of 1952. But his career was interrupted repeatedly by prison terms, including 2 at San Quentin, all stemming from drug-related offenses. He was even arrested for armed robbery. Such was the power of his addiction that, even after months and years in prison, he would return again and again to his habit. In one notable incident, on the very day of his release, he went directly to a gas station, robbed it, and used the money to buy heroin. His career was repeatedly interrupted stemming from his addiction to heroin, but Pepper managed to have several productive comebacks. Remarkably, his substance abuse and legal problems did not affect the quality of his recordings, which maintained a high level of musicianship throughout his career. Some of Pepper's best-known albums from the 1950s are Art Pepper Meets the Rhythm Section, Art Pepper Plus 11, Modern Jazz Classics, Getting Together, and Smack Up. Yet another arrest in 1961 and the subsequent sentence to San Quentin effectively ended Pepper's career for 15 years. There was a brief stint playing tenor in the Buddy Rich Big Band in 1968, but Pepper did not sufficiently control his demons for the purpose of putting his career on track until the mid-70s. Before we delve further into this captivating tale, I'd love for you to take a moment to show your support for this channel. A simple thumbs up would go a long way in letting us know you're enjoying the content we create. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you never miss out on any of the exciting content I have in store for you. I cherish your feedback and insights. And now, without further ado, let's dive deeper into our story. Physical ailments and a 3-year period of rehabilitation in Synanon A rehabilitation program resulted in only intermittent performing until the late 1970s, when he resumed frequent recording and touring. One of these latter occasions found him teaming productively with Miles Davis's rhythm section. He would always catch the appearances of Davis's band in Los Angeles, particularly for the tenor solos of the man he came to admire greatly, John Coltrane. He effectively disappeared from the music scene between 1960 and 1975. In 1969, he met Laurie Miller at Synanon, a Southern California rehab facility. They moved in together in 1972 and married. Laurie began to manage Art's career, and he made a remarkable comeback, releasing 36 records in 6 years. Pepper remained an unrepentant addict, no longer shooting heroin but snorting cocaine on top of his methadone. In April 1972, Art Pepper agreed to tell the story of his life to his wife, Laurie. Although he quickly lost interest in the process, she used her privileged position to keep him answering her questions for 7 years. The book, Straight Life, is mainly a description of events in Art Pepper's life. He details his early sexual anxiety, his turning to alcohol, marijuana, and harder drugs, leading to periods in prison, and addiction treatment at Synanon. Published in 1979, it has been acclaimed as a harrowing and honest account of life as a jazz musician and drug addict. It has been said that it is one of the greatest, saddest autobiographies ever written. From 1977 until his sudden death in 1982, he gave a series of sensational bebop performances in Japan and also in New York, at the Newport Jazz Festival and the Village Vanguard, which brought him increasing recognition and popularity. He lived a life that epitomized resilience and musical brilliance. His dedication to music led him to become one of the most influential figures in jazz history. Despite facing personal struggles, Pepper's passion for music remained undeterred. His exceptional talent and unwavering commitment to his craft enabled him to create timeless, emotive melodies that touched the hearts of audiences worldwide. Pepper's life serves as a testament to the power of perseverance, artistic expression, and the enduring impact of his musical legacy continues to inspire musicians and jazz enthusiasts alike. He is now regarded as one of the greatest saxophonists that ever lived. Art Pepper died from a cerebral hemorrhage on June 15, 1982. He was 56. This is Donovan from One Track Jazz. Thanks for listening.